The difference between really successful people and the most successful people is that the most successful people say no to almost everything.
Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if they're being lazy.
I'm back, motherfucker! I'm back! All of this fucking solitary confinement shit got me back!
This is not the way that it's always going to be. For good things and for bad things. This isn't the way it's always going to be, so I better enjoy this win. This isn't the way it's always going to be, so I better not get too disheartened by this loss.
No, losses are part of life, and losses is something I deal with occasionally. This is my first one in MMA, but yeah, as they say, it is what it is.
Magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding all the time. Every single time that we're not making progress in this way, what is the highest pain task that's in front of me that I've put off the most? It's always that one. It always is.
Get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work. Stop hearing yourself talk. Get off the podcast. Don't be on social media too much. Cut out all the fucking noise. Get back to the fucking mental lab. Because that's where the knowledge came from.
It just takes work. Shitloads and shitloads of work. Every time I try and dress it up or cut a corner, I get brutally reminded the work just needs doing. The work doesn't care who you are. It just cares that it gets done.
Well, mentality is everything. Yeah. Your belief system. When everybody else says, no, you could never. You don't have the genetics. There's a few guys I knew back in Detroit when I was in college. When I was leaving for California, they shook my hand, they said, we'll see you in the magazines. And I said, betcha.
As opposed to thinking, I'm despondent, this sucks, I wish that the world was more hopeful. You can still think that, and also go, that means that my competition has never been weaker, more vulnerable, more fragile. The ability to set myself out from the pack has never been easier.
If you do the thing, in spite of being fearful of doing the thing, that is courage. And if you don't do the thing, even though you felt like doing the thing, that is cowardice. And I think that motivation and patience are exactly the same. If you're patient, despite not feeling patient, that is patience. That is how it works.
We believe that the biggest obstacle we have to overcome is out there, and many times the call is coming from inside of our own house. I think that the worst enemy that many people have is the voice that's inside of their own head. Now, this voice has probably maybe come from the outside world, but we've now internalized it. We have become our own worst enemy in some regards.
Waking up and then trying to shrink the time between when I wake up and when I start working, and shrinking the time between one task and the next task. Like, you don't need to take 30 minutes of getting ready to start working. Like, you can just start working, because as soon as you get into it, you start pulling the thread and you're like, oh, here it is. And all of the time that I was getting ready to work, I was just using up my best brain power time on things that truly don't move the needle at all.
Like, I see a lot of players take vacations with other players that are close friends. And or just take vacations just to take vacations, or just hang out just to hang out. Like, I never did that.
Why not, though? Why didn't you do that?
Well, because when I retire, I didn't want to have to say, I wish I would have done more. I don't want that.
It is astounding how many people want to be spectacular in life, but also want to fit in and be normal. Like, by being normal, you are, by definition, aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Weird people get weird results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and not expect to get what everyone else has. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
Because if you started diets and you failed, and you started working out and you failed, if you just make it longer every time before you fail, you're still making progress, and you're still doing something that everyone else isn't doing.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest meta indicator that you possibly can, is because everyone sucks. Like, so many people are mediocre. Like, half of the United States is in debt. They don't even have they're negative net worth. Just saying different than that, the bar isn't high.
Hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. We are now around soft men and hard times. We're in the time of toxic masculinity, right? Where you could be toxically male, and then if you're suppressing masculinity, you're going to bring on hard times. Masculinity doesn't mean you're mean. It doesn't mean you're angry. It means strength.
People are looking for the big carrot. They want the big vision. They want the big passion, but they don't have it. But I'll give you the first rule of entrepreneurship that I've learned. which is use what you have. And a lot more people have pain. A lot more people have anger. A lot more people have shame. And if you can use that as your gas in the beginning, you'll eventually get to a point where you can get out of that loop and then find something that you are really passionate about. But if you can't tie your shoes, you can't lift the weight, you can't send the DM, then you have to start with whatever you have.
Find your vision and follow it. You see, I think it's the most important thing that we have a very clear vision of where we go. A goal, where do we go? Because you can have the best ship in the world. You can have the best cruise liner, but if the captain does not know where to go, that ship will drift around the world and out there at sea and will never end up anywhere. And this is exactly the way it is in real life. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a vision, you just drift around.
What are you prepared to sacrifice? Psychologically, physically, existentially, relationally, socially, in terms of your self-esteem, your confidence, everything, right? All of that. Because if there's even a part of you that's thinking, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to balance it because I want to feel satisfied and I want to feel comfortable with myself and so on and so forth. That's fine for as long as it contributes to your performance within the domain that you're competing in. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you sacrifice any output in that, that's just an opening for somebody else that's the competitor that's going to come in and get it.
All right, the problem we have today is in this modern world, we have movies and we have television and we have social media that are always telling us what life should look like and how a winner should always be a winner. And then they tell us what winning looks like. And for a vast majority out there, that's not what winning looks like, and it just brings us more down. And it brings men more down. But life is hard, and that's the way it's always been. It's our lot. Now, if you don't want to accept that, that's up to you, okay? But it's our lot. It's our place.
These weird insults that we have to ourselves on a daily basis that no one is ever going to give you any applause for. So you get caught up in traffic in a way that wasn't your fault, and then when you get there, the person that you're dealing with, something goes wrong with that, and something else goes wrong with this, and something else goes wrong the whole day, all the way down. And no one of these is impressive or grand or magnificent in any way. And you manage to sort of weave your way through the day, keeping your cool, and you don't lose it, and you manage to kind of make the best of that whole day. And you get to the end of it, and there's no one applauding you for having got through that. And yet you look back at the day and you go, holy fuck, like, I'm really proud of myself for that.
The individual has to evolve. Like, you have to also recreate yourself as you're going through this. The same enemy that drives you when you're 22 years old should not be driving you at 32 years old, or else you haven't matured. You should also out-mature that enemy. And then 32, something else should be driving you, then 42, then 58, then 63, then 75. But you are gonna have those love affair with those enemies. That's a love affair. You had an affair with this enemy over an 8-year span, over a 13-year span, over a 6-year span, over a 6-month span. But, you know, there is truth in the idea of you still being driven by that enemy 18 years after you beat that enemy, 13 years after you beat that enemy.
I just wanted this so bad that I told the universe, excuse me, this is my destiny. I know it. And you know what? Because of that belief system, it happened. But you know what gives me strength? The fact that I was able to squat here and go to the point where I couldn't do 5 more, and I got 5 more, and then got even 5 more. There was always 5 more. The fact that I could do that gave me so much strength in life. I'm in total respect and honor of the squat rack forever. It's my altar. It's what taught me how to get there. The mentality has to be there, and I think people need to realize that it's not going to happen by chance. You have to make it happen. You have to will it to happen. You have to want it to happen more than anything in your life, and you're willing to give your life for it.
Being able to continue doing something without seeing the results of your work is one of the best competitive advantages, because everybody else is feeling the same discomfort that you are. Everybody else is going, I don't know if this is going to work, and this is hard, and why is no one telling me that I'm doing a good job?
The leading indicator of a successful person is the ability to act without anything happening. And when you continue down that path, it happens slower than you expect, and then faster than you can imagine. And I think that's the part that everyone misses, is they expect the faster than they can imagine, and they imagine really big. And so then their expectations are really big, really fast, but they take the intensity and they don't apply it to a timeline that's appropriate.
Sometimes a man who's not at peace is a man who was born to not fit in, but he's trying to shoehorn himself into a box or into a hole that he was never meant to fit in. And that might be you. All right, know who you are. Know if you're meant to walk shoulder to shoulder and line to line with a group of other men. And if you are, great, wonderful, do it, be the best at it. But if you're not, don't search for a destination. The trip is the destination. The journey is the goal.
So sadness comes from a lack of options, or rather a lack of perceived options. And that's why it feels like hopelessness, because you don't know what to do. But when I realized that sadness meant that I didn't know what to do, it meant that another way that I could define sadness was ignorance. And that is solvable. And so whenever I feel sad now, it's been my trigger to immediately think, what do I not know? What option do I not see? Because the opposite of that is anxiety, which is you have many options and you have few priorities. Looks, you have many paths that you could pursue and you just don't know which one. And so being able to operationalize what these emotions felt like. So if you feel sad, it just means that you need to go learn more. And that you can do. And then all of a sudden the learning more becomes the option, and then you don't need to feel sad anymore.
They didn't care about a predetermined, preset destination in life. A certain number in the bank account. They cared about experience in life. And they didn't fit in. And that's okay. It's not only okay, but it's necessary. Society, the society of drones, and I don't say that derisively, okay? The workers are needed. They build stuff. But they won't build stuff until the lone outlying explorer and experience goes out and comes back and says, guys, you won't believe what I saw out there.
If you can't define the inputs and outputs that are going to get you what you want, then there's no way to start, right? Because you don't know what you're supposed to do. So you have to define it down to like the most basic first action. So it's like, if I want to start creating content, then it means I have to post something. If it means I have to start doing I always think in terms of business because that's what I'm in. But like, I'm either doing a cold reach out, I'm doing a cold call, cold email, cold DM, whatever that is. I have to make a piece of content. I have to post it. I have to make a podcast. I have to make a YouTube video. I have to make a short, whatever that is, make a blog post. I have to run an ad. Right? I have to run the ad. I have to press go. I have to spend the money. Whatever it is, like whatever that core initial action.
Go to the gym,
input.
lift the weight, put the shoes on, get in the car.
Whatever the input is, you have to define what the input is that's going to get you the output you want. Now, once you know what that input output is, the next one is, why aren't you doing it? Right? And so I think a lot of people are looking for something that is very hard to find. And then they attribute their lack of success or lack of action because they don't have passion or motivation, right?
Everybody that starts off has this huge amount of escape velocity that's needed to be accumulated. They're starting from total inertia, lifting off where the gravity's strongest, going past all of the disbelief and the criticism and the lonely chapter and all of this stuff. So they've had to go through all of these trenches and get over all of these hurdles. And then they finally get to the stage where they're in a little bit more light altitude. They're floating out there a little bit more. And maybe their velocity gives them, or their fuel gives them more returns in terms of their velocity. And now people say, it must be nice for you. And you go, dude, fuck you. Like, if you could have seen how much criticism and hard work and lonely nights and all of this stuff when nobody was watching and I was unsure of myself, chronically miserable, and I criticized and all my friends took the piss out of me and I did all of these things. I had to go through all of that for you to now say, must be nice.
You know, I've always focused on building my own definition of what success means to me. You know, it's like we were saying, in competition, there will always be, I'm trying to be the best in the world. Well, that means I need to beat these people. That means I'm good enough or I'm not good enough in comparison to something external of myself. But internally, the values of the truth of what you hold in yourself, of what really success means to you in your entire life, those are the things that you kind of have to balance and weigh out and kind of lean into one or the other. And I compete because I want to win. I love winning. I love being the best in the world. I've sat many times trying to find the balance of what I want within all this. If I was losing, I wouldn't be competing. I'm here to win. And it is what it is. I love what I do, but at this point it's taken away a lot that I just really love winning more than I dislike the work. So it's fine, I can do it. But my values are still bigger than that. My success at the end of my life is beyond hurting myself now to do so. So it's a constant check-in with myself of making sure I'm lining up my values, and I'm not going to sacrifice winning to do so. And I need to be smart enough that when those start to disbalance, I need to pull away from one, focus on the other, and know when to check out.
What do you think most people get wrong about motivation?
They think it's a permanent fix. They think it's something that is a constant. They think that maybe once I get it, I'm gonna hold on to it. And that's the thing about that I was telling you, that I always talk about. Nothing is permanent. And a lot of times you have to learn to perform without motivation. You have to learn to perform without purpose. You have to learn to perform a lot of different things. And that's what people think. They think I need to have this motivation to work out, to study, to be better. So if they don't have it, they just don't fucking do it. And that's where you fail. You have to learn to train your mind well beyond motivation. If you have motivation, that's great. That's some kindling to the fire. All it takes is a little bit of fucking spark, you can burn the whole forest up. But motivation, you have to learn to exist without it. You have to be your best self when you're least motivated. And that's the tricky part about all that shit. Motivation is just a word. You have to have these different things in your mind on where you want to go and know that motivation is not going to get me there. Because I'm not going to always be motivated.
Have I told you about the region beta paradox? Have you seen that one? Okay, so this is interesting. So imagine that you had to go a mile or less, and if you did...
A mile?
A mile.
Okay.
If you had to travel a mile or less, you would walk it. And if you had to go more than a mile, you would drive it.
Okay.
So paradoxically, you would go 2 miles quicker than you would go 1 mile. If you follow that rule, the important insight here is that if you only take action when things cross a certain threshold of badness, sometimes better things can feel worse than worse things.
Oh, yeah.
So if you look around and you see that people are stuck in region beta, this zone of comfortable complacency, right? It's the guy that sticks in his just okay job because his boss isn't too much of a dick, but the pay isn't that good and he's not really that passionate, but it's all right, whatever. The person that stays in the acceptable relationship, they're not that fired up, but they're not really in love and their partner's not really got much alignment with their interests. Or the person that stays in a crappy apartment and there's a bit of mold in the ceiling, but it's cheap and it's in a good area of town or whatever. All of these people would be better off if their situations were worse, because it would give them the activation energy to kick them out of the bottom, and their only regret would be not doing it sooner.
Dude, I love that.
Are you choosing to consume false simulations of someone's life on TikTok, compare yourself to it and think you're not doing enough? Or are you choosing to live in the real world, having conversation with good people who are being realistic and taking risks? Are you choosing to be around negative people or positive people? You know, every single day you choose who you surround yourself with, you choose what you do. You're in control of a lot more than you believe you are. And I think people like to get caught up in routine and norm and feeling obligated to their old friends, their family, their this or that, and staying kind of where they are. But pushing yourself out of that sometimes is exactly what you need. And I think it's just scary for change sometimes. But the concept of living life is just so simple. You could take the words live your life and expand on that into a 1,000,000-page essay and just do it. But just getting out there and living and experiencing life and doing the things that are difficult and challenging and cause you to grow and to, you know, if you think of the person that I envy the most and I enjoy being around the most is just that like old wise man who has all these crazy stories, who's lived all this life and is just like happy to sit on the park bench and talk to random people about what he's done. You know, if that's the person I respect, how do I become that person? It's not from doing nothing, it's from doing something.
But where do you go to? You wake up on a morning, it's cold, it's wet, it's dark, you've got no cartilage in your knee, you've got shitty shorts, whatever it is that's the issue today.
Keep talking.
You've got these problems, right?
I need you to keep talking about what you were just saying.
It's warm on the couch.
That's
Your
it.
missus says stay in
That's
bed.
it.
It's comfy,
That's
it's
it.
cozy.
That's
You've got
it.
work later on. You had an argument last night. You're slightly
it.
hungover.
Because I know every motherfucker ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do. So this is how you level up. That's how you level up. I know there's a whole bunch of people with that right there. That fires me up. That makes me fucking happy what you just said. That brings joy to my life right there.
Why?
Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. refuse to study a few more hours, refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely. You talk about that you were kind of, lonely by yourself. I was the same way. And that used to hurt me growing up. Now I fucking thrive in that shit. That's the only place to be.
The difference between success and failure, guys, isn't a lack of strength. It isn't a lack of knowledge. Differential is a lack of will. Add the will, man. We come out here, we break the monotony up. No longer in the gym where everyone plays it safe. We're breaking that motherfucker up because we want more out of life than the normality. That's why we're here, guys. Pissed off for excellence. That's what we're doing. Come at a gym where we can throw some shit around, get some frustration out, release some of the stresses that are going on in our job, our relationships, our careers, wherever else. We dump it all here today. Grow the body and release the stress. No one's around. No third-party subjective natures that we're trying to gain likability to. Just us. And what we're gonna do is that enough for us? We won't know until later if our hands raised or not. We put the work in now, the best of our ability, even in all fucking here. To ensure if it doesn't go our way out there, we know it wasn't because of any shortcomings of effort done today that lacked tomorrow's prosperity and greatness. No. We're here right now by ourselves, finding our roots, building ourselves up from the rubble, building that foundation that weathers all the storms of life. That's what the fuck we're here for. That's why we're here. Some people call it psychotic, Greg. Oh, you're out in the fucking whatever again. Fuck off. We'll see how much further I go than you.
I think about everything in terms of skills. And I have more or less divorced myself from the words like feelings, psychology, intuition, whatever. I've just taken it out of my vocabulary and character traits and tried to focus ruthlessly on what are the actions that I can take to become patient. And if you say, hey, be patient, what does someone do, right? They have to figure out what to do in the meantime. That's the definition of patience. If you say, hey, be more charismatic. The problem with that directive is that it's a bundled term. And so I say charismatic, but what it really means is 12 skills underneath of it. That means that when you walk into a room, stand up straight. When you walk into a room, look everyone in the eyes. When you walk into a room, announce yourself, speak louder, shake people's hands and look at them while they're talking. When someone talks, nod your head. If you do all of these 12 behaviors or 15 behaviors, people will begin to describe you as charismatic. In the path of personal development, we want to become more of these things, but we haven't chunked down the bundled term into the series of behaviors that create the description that people will then call us later. And I think by breaking things down, then it's not like, oh, I'm just not that insert character trait. It's really, oh, I have not mastered these 12 skills. And so by doing that, it demystifies.
Much more precise.
Exactly. There are no social obligations, only social consequences. And the people who want to deliver those consequences often do it by talking to you less and by avoiding you more. They try to spend less time with you and talk to you less, to punish you for the fact that you missed the party, you missed the going out, you didn't show up to their wedding, you didn't show up to their dog's christening or whatever. But the crazy thing is that if you felt obligated to go, then it means you didn't want to go. And that means that if you didn't want to go, and the punishment of not going is that you don't have to go more in the future because they avoid you or they don't invite you anymore, then to me that's a win-win. You save time today and you save time tomorrow. And I don't understand why people are not willing to deal with that. Like just looking at what happens rather than whatever emotional noise they make with their face at you. Like moving past that, great, you expelled air at me, understood, got it. But the outcome is you will no longer invite me, which is what I want. Great, I feel like we won here. And so thinking second and third order outcomes from what happens when I, quote, break up with this friend or what happens when I offend this friend, a lot of times it's you closer to your goal. And I've always been okay with that. And like, if someone, like, the moment I have seen somebody as decreasing the likelihood that I hit my goal, I am happy to tell them that. Like, I think you are not good for me. I don't think you help me hit what I want to hit. And they'd be like, well, then they'll try and downgrade your goals and say you shouldn't believe this way. And then they'll cast their beliefs on you. And for me, it's like, that's amazing that you believe that. I don't believe that, and I don't really want to believe what you believe, because then I would have your life, and I certainly don't want that.
Why are we outside right now? Before we start our fucking workout. Our mind's ready, our body's ready. We've done our little pussy stretching, but our muscles are ready to do this stuff. Why are we out here? Because the world's fucking out here. Everyone else has these goals in life where they hold them inside. They don't let anyone know because they don't want anyone to have them accountable for that shit. So what they do is they say they're gonna do a change, but they don't tell anybody, and they kind of go about it. In the event that going about it's too tough, and they can pass judgment on just themselves without having a third party subjective nature passing it on them every fucking day as a bullshitter. Another member of the long fucking line of losers of this world where second place is good. Now we're outside right now. Why are we outside? Because we want to fucking transform, man. So what are we gonna do? What we're gonna do? We're gonna get a little more motivation. We're gonna tell everyone motherfuckers out here that we're here to fucking win. This is my fucking time! Get in line! That's how you do it, guys. You fucking commit to something. You tell everyone about it. And no matter what, they honk and cheer for you. They get behind you. Instead of being one of those subjective nature losers in life that beats you down because you're doing better than them and you're reminding them of their failures. And here we start. Get the mind right, the body will follow. Tell the world, get a goal, achievable goal. And then day by day by day, you start to do that goal to make it the reality, guys. It's not guesswork. It's a science of intensity. And if you don't have the intensity, don't fucking come in. Everyone knows it. They know it now, and when we transform, goddamn, they're gonna know it there on a visual sense. You know that expression I always say, guys? You burn the midnight oil now, otherwise you stay awake in the midnight hours wondering what if. We destroyed that here tonight. It's 2 a.m. right now. No one here. Mano to mano, me and you, and where we want to go tomorrow. 2 a.m. What I love about 2 a.m. is that we're not living by the clock, man. Just because the clock says 10 o'clock time to go to sleep or 9 to 5 time to go to work. That's bullshit. If you're in bed right now and you're rolling around, you can't fall asleep, get the fuck up. It probably means you haven't done an honest day's work to earn that rest at night. 2 a.m., not a fucking person's here. I can scream my fucking ass off. No one hears me. I can cry. I can shit myself. I can put an honest day's work in here that more than anyone does in a week. And no one sees it. Because it's supposed to be that way. This is a fucking means to the ends. It's not the ends. All those motherfuckers that come here with their hair done, the makeup, these guys come in their shirts to be seen, missing the fucking point, man. Missing the point. You're not in here to get an achievement. You're in here to pay your fucking dues, so later in life you never wonder what if. You don't need to say, I gotta burn the midnight oil so I don't stay awake in the midnight hours wondering if. We just erase that out of the equation. We're putting the work in now so we never wonder what if. Not run by the clock. Run by our desire where we want to go tomorrow. Our competition's fucking asleep right now. We're getting ahead of that competition. The margins between first and loser, the second place finisher, growing and growing and growing. They're all gonna fight for second place. They won't be able to keep up with you. That's being on the right path, man. Never looking back to our past. The past is great. We're proud of it. But it's not the current day. All that shit has created who we are right now, where life begins, and how we feel, and where we want to go, using that information to excel ourselves to the future of where we want to be tomorrow, which is right fucking now, last I looked. Not when the sun comes up. It's when we're ready to get up. This workout is a full back workout. It's called never looking back, man. Looking forward where we want to go. It begins right now.
You held anybody against your will, or kidnapped anybody or anything, that don't matter. You know what the dangerous type of lie in the universe is? The most dangerous type of lie in the universe is the one that has the most truth. The most dangerous people out there are people who take a lie and wrap it all up in truth and deceive you. Andrew Tate likes to call himself the most dangerous man. The most dangerous man in the world. But he cannot be the most dangerous man in the world because he's currently the loudest man in the world. And the dangerous man is never the loudest man. You hear what I'm saying? I'm saying that you need to be careful about who you follow. In my experience, I don't care how big a fella is. I don't care how tough he is in a ring with his rules and his referees looking out for stuff. I don't care how much he works out. I don't care how much he walks around without a shirt on. I don't care how big his tattoos are. The louder he is, the more insecure he is inside. And when I see Andrew Tate, I see an extremely, extremely crippling, insecure man. Now you say, Dwayne, he puts off such extremely secure vibes. I know. But a secure man don't have to put off vibes. A tough man is not going to always tell you how tough he is. He's not going to get online and keep showing you clip after clip after clip of him hitting a punching bag, of him winning in fights and knocking people down. You into drinking games? I'm not, but some people are. Look, here's a drinking game, okay? Get you a bottle of whatever you drink, set it in front of you. Every time that man says Bugatti, take a drink. See how far you get through the video. Why does he constantly have to bring up his money? Why does he constantly have to point out his supercars and his women and then his money? Why does he have to stand there with his shirt off showing you his muscles all the time? Why? What is he so insecure about? When it comes time for the stuff to hit the fan, and it's going to hit the fan, you want a quiet, secure man that knows what he's doing. When I see people talk about how he's helped young men, the only examples I see given by him, and I haven't watched all the stuff, there could be others, okay, is how much money they're making. I help them make money. He's all about money. Of course, he leaves out.
Nothing's perishable. It's all legacy being built. Question for you guys is, it's so easy for me when I cut my hand in the very beginning of this to say, dude, it hurts, man, I can't go on. It's so easy to make that excuse, and you know what? I can live with that. That's a viable excuse, right? But is it the truth? Can you go on? What else do you want? Is this stronger than your dreams? And do you put as much time and attention into your dreams as you do your fears? That makes sense to you guys? So many people think all day long on what they're scared of. Before a wrestling match, back in the day, I remember a lot of my opponents be like, oh man, what happens if I lose? What happens if I get caught? What happens if they take me down? What the fuck are we talking about? All that attention, all that energy going into the possibility of failure. Why can't the individual, the human, erase that mentality and put all that attention is, how great it's going to feel when I pin that motherfucker, when I take him down, when I beat him down in front of his home crowd, when I win something, when I go after something, when I put the work in and achieve it. Why don't we think that way? We're always thinking about losing something being taken from us, trying to maintain what we have. Like, we can't lose this shit. It's so valuable. Why do we think that way? Why are we always thinking about the fears, the worst case scenario? All we do is put all that energy in there. Why don't we put the energy into the dreams that can be? The reason why you're doing that, if you are putting all that time and effort into fears instead of your dreams, it's because you're not doing this enough. You're not in here killing yourself enough. You're not working hard enough. You're not studying hard enough. You're not burning the midnight oil every night, which prevents you from staying awake in the midnight hours later in life wondering what it could have been. You erase that shit through all of this fucking payment, guys. It's free. You don't need to shoot up for it. You don't need to snort it. You sweat for it. And then when you leave here, it's an abdominal will is like just been nurtured. You don't think about second place. You think about first, and then the legacy, and building the gap between you and every other fucking person. But unless you go through this shit, there's no value in first place. You haven't put enough time on the job, enough effort. You haven't sacrificed enough to know what the value of that fucking title means. So therefore, all you do is think about, well, I hope I don't lose this third place trophy I have. You understand what I'm saying, guys? The more and more you do this shit, the more and more it becomes almost impossible to accept second place outside of here. Impossible. Again, guys, I said it earlier. It's spelled impossible. Perception on how we see things, guys. We create it or we destroy it right here. We either give birth to our fear or we blaze the path of our dreams. You're either living your dreams or living your fears, one or the other. And which one are you giving the most time to? This workout travels with you to ensure your dreams never spoil. Always stay true. You come back into the gym after doing the bodyweight beatdown. You won't lose an inch. You wouldn't have lost a step. You gained an inch. And in life, it's a game of inches. Third clip, thanks for watching. We're out of here. You guys see fresh and easy, man? Yeah, man. Life isn't always so fresh or so easy. But what's inside of there? A lot of groceries and stuff you buy, right? You got the milk, you got the, your fruits and vegetables and stuff. And all that stuff, man, very perishable. What does that mean? I mean, when you buy it, you better eat that motherfucker, otherwise it goes bad. There's a shelf life to it, a time trial. Use it or lose it. And if you don't use it, then your investment in that product, you don't quite reap all the reward of that. So that's a little metaphor, I think, in life. Because life itself is perishable. If you're playing basketball and you're shooting free throws, and you have the line when the pressure's on you, if you don't constantly, when no one's watching, drill it, 1,000 buckets a day, when it matters, maybe you miss. If you're in the military, you're Delta Force or something. If you're not in the range, firing thousands of rounds. Well, then when you pull on a fire, maybe you're not putting one in the head, one in the chest. Maybe you're missing it. And maybe in that split second, it costs you your life. All these things eventually will be tested. You have the time right now to repair them, to ensure the skills don't get spoiled like some fruit and fresh and easy. See, the thing about life, we're gonna die, right? Eventually we're gonna die. But our legacy can live on. The impact can be non-perishable, forever. But it's gotta be built right. And we gotta take advantage of the time we have right now. If you want it bad enough, you find a way. If you don't want it bad enough, you find an excuse. It's called the bodyweight beatdown. You don't need any weights for it. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need any barbells. You don't need any equipment. All you need is this motherfucker. That's your weight, your body weight. Last I looked, the person that finishes the race with their hand held isn't it about the, how big they are, how tough they are, their potential. It's a perseverance. Meaning it's not about the dog that's in the fight. It's the fight within the dog. Well, yeah, it's a shitty situation. I gotta go to work because I gotta pay the bills and support my family. But you know, it doesn't mean I have to shortcut my success in what I'm doing. I'll find a way to work this out. How do you do that? You gotta have a little ingenuity. I provide that for you guys. All you have to do is follow it. This workout's gonna test you guys. It's gonna break you too. But in doing so, it's gonna grow you. Just like life itself, man. You go after things. You try them. Even if you fail, you get back up. And you continue to try and fail. Continue to try and fail. And ensuring you never fail to try. Because nothing's impossible. Just a spelling of impossible. It's spelled impossible. Today we make belief of that. That's just not normal, guys. And what's not normal is what your body doesn't know. When your body doesn't know what it is, it's forced to adapt. That adaptation leads to growth. Only weak motherfuckers in life go after things and attempt things they already know they can achieve. You've got to do something you're not quite sure of. Try something new if you want to switch it up. That's where growth comes, man. That's where your body's forced to adapt. Forced to suffer the discipline today. So you never suffer the form of regret tomorrow. That's what the fuck that's about. It's not the load, guys, that you're carrying that breaks you. It's the way in which you carry it. Meaning, we all fail in life. We all hit failure. It's the way in which you handle failure. If you find out it destroys you or not. Because last I looked, failure is temporary. Giving up, that's permanent. When you think that way, guys, in here, it's not work, man. It's love. When you love something, And you put your passion behind it and pay your dues every day. You set trends, man. You don't follow them. You set the fucking trends. See it.
Never lose sight of the horizon, man. Never forget where you're going. Because the daily wars and the battles, the ups and the downs and everything else, you get turned around and dumped under the water, man, and start blowing bubbles to find out what's ways north. But always keep in sight what you're doing in the long frame, the bigger picture of it all. Because that's what gives it value when everything seems like Murphy's Law is just dumping on you. And you got nothing left, man. Hope is fading. You know, hanging by a thread, man, at the end of the rope. In that situation, just tie a knot in that motherfucker and hold on, man. You can tell I'm a little kind of emotional about it all. Because it's been a ride, man. It's been a fucking ride. It's been a gamble. Huge gamble. The real gambling problem doesn't exist in Vegas or in the sporting events. It exists right here in the individual's heart of heart. How do I know that? Because it's like when you're watching a movie or something, man, and the character in the movie, the odds are against him or her, and they overcome it. And they cross that finish line that no one thought they could, probably not even them. You're sitting there watching it and you're moved by it. That movie is a dead art. I mean, it was filmed in the past, it's not alive, it's not present tense. You make it alive. From what it does to you and how you react to it, and how you feel from watching that. And tell me you don't put yourself in that movie, play it out in your own movie of life, different theater, the same thing, that you can overcome it too, you can do it too. What I'm saying right there is that in order for you to have that feeling, that emotional ride that a movie can do, it means there's something inside of you that wants to come out still, some belief that you can do more than you're currently doing. But you're not. Too scared. So you don't gamble it. You sit back in what is. And why do you do that? Because this shit right here, all we have, too valuable, man. I can't lose this shit, man. Well, if you can't lose it, man, you can't grow from it. Just like success, man. When you get that success and you flip the script on it, well, the success then defines you. Can't lose it, can't lose it. Well, then you can't grow from it, man. You gotta be willing to lose it in order to earn it. Taking those winnable battles of life that you believe in, you know you can do it. That's what I love, man. When someone achieves something, you know, and all these people, you know, go run into them, you know, to interview them and stuff. But along the way, no one gave a shit. Motherfucker couldn't get arrested, not pocket pissing. No one gives a fuck. And then he achieves it. Now they all want to fucking find out who he is, you know. But by the time they go to interview the guy's already 15 miles ahead on next endeavor. Because that's what life is. The pressures, the situations that you can't buy, you have to earn. And keep on going. It's the fact that you had an idea, you believed in it, you put action to an idea, so a dream became a reality. That's as good as it gets, man. That's when you do it right. Otherwise, you sit back and you wonder, what if? What if is the worst question you can ever ask yourself. I failed is 1,000,000 times better than what if. Because that motherfucker got up and did something, showed up. 10 times more of the man and says, what if? Fuck what if, man. What if is an ongoing debate inside yourself that you can never come to conclusion on. I got up and failed, at least I know. Otherwise, what if every minute of every day for your existence, battling inside your head, trying to turn off the voices, but you can't. And you can't do anything about it because the opportunities, the window of opportunity is closed. There's nothing you can do but sit back and wonder, what if? Nope, don't like that, man. I'd much rather take the gamble and lose.
There's a lot of men struggling right now. There's a lot of men, if you know, I talk about it a lot, that if you look at the stats around suicidality in the UK, the thing that's most likely to kill someone between the age of like 18 and 40 is themselves, for a man. You know, so men are clearly struggling in some capacity with purpose or meaning or something. So I almost feel like, you know, a lot of these sort of toxic influences of what a man should be have now emerged to offer answers. But I doubt those toxic influences. And I say there's got to be another role model, another sort of blueprint for what it is to show up as a man.
Well, I was going to give you I guess it would have been a real cheap answer of, I think it's Marcus Aurelius, is stop discussing what it is to be a man and be one. I was gonna walk out of here with that one. I'd be like, pretty good question avoidance there. But there's some merit to that, right? Like, and I was almost thinking, like, do we really not know? Do we really not know what it is to be a good man? And I would go so far as to say to be a good human being, right? Because when a few years ago there was these discussions going around about toxic masculinity, right? And you take these traditional masculine traits and people were saying this is toxic masculinity and they're bad. And I wrote a couple articles about it. If you take any trait of a human being and you take it to an extreme, masculine or feminine or otherwise, you take it to an extreme, it's going to be a problem. It doesn't matter what it is. So if you take even a really positive trait like generosity, if you're a super generous person, that's wonderful. Is it possible to be too generous? Well, yes, it is. Now you're getting taken advantage of, and now you end up in an abusive relationship. Like, there's all kinds of problems that can happen. So when we talk about masculine traits and what's a man, well, what are some of the traditional masculine traits? To be competitive. Now, is it bad to be hyper competitive where you screw people over and you hurt your health because you want to win in this particular category? Is that bad? Yes, it is. Does that mean we have people that are not competitive at all and they don't care if they win or lose? No, that's not good either. So that's one trait. What's another good aggression? Aggression is a masculine trait. Is it good if I'm walking into a restaurant pushing the hostess out of my way? Of course, that's terrible. It's terrible. Is it good if you and I are working together and I say, hey, shut up and do what I said? Is that good? No, it's not good. So can you take aggression too far? Yes, you absolutely can. Can you get to a point where you're not even asserting yourself at all and you're getting, yes, you can. Is that good? No, that's not good either. So there's a bunch of traits that we could run through that are considered traditional masculine traits. And if you take any of those traits and you take them to an extreme, they're gonna be bad. Stoicism, right? Being stoic, being unemotional. Is it good to have no emotions whatsoever? No, that's called a sociopath, right? Is that good? No. Is it good, like I was talking about earlier, to let your emotions run your life and make your decisions based on your emotions? No, that's not good either. What do we want to be as a human, as a man? We want to be balanced. Want to be balanced. You don't want to be extreme in any direction. Even when you ask me like, oh, Jocko, what are you undisciplined on? I told you chocolate chip cookies. I could have also said, yeah, sometimes I like to eat mint chocolate chip milkshakes. Sometimes I get lazy to work out. I'm like, you know what? I freaking warmed up and this sucks and I'm leaving. Sometimes I was gonna write something and now I didn't write anything. I'm supposed to write 1,000 words today. I didn't write any. And guess what? I didn't write any tomorrow. And so I'm a slacker. So if I was so disciplined that, my wife was like, hey, I'd like to go out for dinner. I was like, no, I still gotta write my 1,000 words. Is that good? No, it's not good. So any characteristic, if we take it to extreme, it's gonna be a problem. And so we, as people, should be balanced. And I think what we need to be attuned to is it's much easier to be extreme. It's much easier to be extreme. It's much easier to say, oh, no emotions, cool, and turn them off. That's easier than, or total emotion mayhem, that's easier. It's harder to find balance. It's harder to find balance in business. It's harder to find balance in life. It's hard to find balance. And what we have to do is we have to be attuned to the feedback that we're getting. We have to be attuned to the feedback that we're getting. So if we're talking to our wife and she says, you're not gonna be home for dinner again tonight for the 9th night in a row that you're gonna stay late at work. Okay, You need to be paying attention enough to say, oh yeah, guess what? I'm a little too focused on work right now. And then the other end of that spectrum is my boss says, hey Jocko, wait, you're leaving early again? Well, you know, it's wrestling season. My daughter's got a wrestling match, so I'm gonna leave. Okay, I need to be attuned enough to say, yeah, if I focus 100% on my job, I'm gonna lose my family. If I focus 100% on my family, I'm gonna lose my job. We as humans are supposed to be balanced.
Don't let the clock run your life, guys. Have an internal clock that's always on, always beating. That's the heartbeat of a champion, man. 9 to 5 is not your hours of operation. You're always on point, always looking to improve, take the most of the opportunities you have. That's all we know. So the only guarantee is intake and outtake of breath we have right now. Don't just pass that along, procrastinate to the next day's endeavor. Do it now, man. So the next day you're just getting further and further ahead. And when you ever do look back, there's a lot of pride right there that you did it right. And you continue to be the course of action that does it right. A role model for others, man. No regrets, man. What is a growth? The growth of the muscle is the time in which weight is applied to the muscle. The muscle's force of taxation on the muscle. How long of a process is that? If you do one rep like that, the time is milliseconds. If you go the same rep, same weight, you're getting 10 times more out of it. So when you guys get into those sets, don't rush through it. Thinking like, let's get it done, get it done, get it done. Get it done. Get it done brings the end state day of death closer with a small dash. You get it done in it. You get it done for a purpose. You give it all your time and effort in the set so your life gets done the way you fucking want it to be done. Don't rush this shit and expect something outside that you want to happen relish for you. It's gone with the wind. Let's put the time into it right here. And I see these people coming in the gym day after day, day after day. They got a dedication. They show up. Transformation, nothing. Because the majority of the time what they do in here, they jaw jack. They're working that fucking jaw muscle too much. If you guys are spending 3 minutes in between sets, you might as well have just started. Because it's too much recovery time. You know, the growth comes from hitting it, exhausting it, finding the burn, and keeping the burn alive. If you take too much time in between sets off, the fire goes out. That fire is what heats up that clay and you can start molding it. Don't let it go out, guys. Let it go out when you leave here, when you give it all the nutrition to rebuild. Don't talk in here. Perform in here. When you perform in here, when you go out there, you don't need to talk, do you? No. Success is something you should never have to speak about. You cheapen its resolve. If you speak about it, you speak for itself. Meaning, the guys that come to the gym and they talk all the time in the gym, because they ain't there yet. The guys that come here and silent professionals just perform, when they leave the gym, they still don't talk. Their body talks for them. And life is given to them. Everyone's like, oh, they must have a real easy life. That help they do. Because they paid for it. They earned that motherfucker. You know, winning isn't everything. But training to win is. Having the will to win, that is everything. Whether you win or not, people are gonna fail. You gotta get back up and try it again. But if you don't have the will to win, and you don't train to win, that's where you're really missing the mark, guys. Winning isn't everything, but having the will and training to win, that sure shit is. 2 in the morning right now. Yeah, man. That will's alive right now. We're training for a greater purpose for tomorrow. Fucking tell you, man, that pulse of life right now is beating like a motherfucker. That victory, that opportunity that's coming to fruition, I almost taste it when you hear these kind of hours. Fucking awesome. Weak people do activities that are tension relieving. When the strong do activities that are goal achieving. Don't be weak here, man. Don't just sideline into what's painful and do something that relieves the pain, it's tension relieving. Stay true to course, man. When you're feeling that pain, that means you're changing something. Welcome it and go goal achieving, not tension relieving, man. 3:30 in the morning. Why not, man? Most of my competition's just gonna be getting up in a couple hours. I'll be getting up that time too, so I got a plane to catch. 7 a.m. It's 3:30 right now. I'll get my sleep on the plane or something, man. But I'll never look back and say, you know what? There's some hours, some pockets of my existence where I could have applied more. And now, later in life, where I came up short, I go, man, that's where I could have picked up a few inches, could have picked up a little bit more there, a little bit more there, and that would have made the difference in my hand being raised or not. No. I'm the best I can be moving forward. I've done that. I solidified that through all my hard work in here. Giving my all now, so I never have to wonder what if later. That's never looking back, man. Looking forward and kicking ass. Here's my competition. Asleep. Hoping tomorrow's a better day for him. I'll be honest, sometimes I feel like this is my competition. This fucking deadpan. No drive, no ambition, no real focus in life. Don't be that guy. You gotta rock yourself before you rock somebody else. Check it out. Every single day when you come to the gym or any endeavor you do, like I said, picking up dog shit, you pick it all up, you put your name to it, you mean something, you hold your truth to whatever you're doing, carry your words into actions. You come to the gym that day, you give it everything you have, you leave everything, the sweat, tears, everything you have in the gym. When you leave all that fear and all that bullshit, when you leave the gym, you leave a stronger person. That's one day. Consecutive days of that makes a good fucking year. A year that this time next year, people are gonna be blown away. Blown away. How the hell did you do this? I don't even recognize you. That kind of role model power, inspiring other people to do it. It doesn't happen, man. A year from now, you'll be like, yeah, I wanna be this person. That person is a day away for you. It's about committing today and making today yours. It's consecutively, day after day after day after day, paying your fucking dues. Creates every dream a reality. This is right here. This gym is a fucking metaphor for the subjective nature of the world up there. Where you can battle all that. Because in here, the weight doesn't change weight on you randomly. You build a confidence that you can overcome shit in here. Because out there in the real world, your best friends will stab you in the back. Your family will turn on you. Guaranteed deals will falter. You'll be up riches and the next, that night, poor as can be. How do you stay true through all that? Ride the storms. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, guys. It's about learning how to dance in the fucking rain. Day by day. Let's dance, motherfuckers. You should be very proud of yourself right now. You know? Being here with desire, you put action to that desire. That combination explodes into potential, whatever you want to make happen. This world is your playground, man, if you want it to be. Everything that's you ever dreamed of becoming, some human made it happen. The only difference between that human and you all create equally, right? Except up here, we have the ability to enhance or to destroy this guy. And that will have a cause and effect if this is enhanced or destroyed. Right here, guys. That's why I always say the gym is a mind-body connection. It's not about just the gym and getting big. It's a metaphor of life. You come in here, you build your body, and it's non-subjective nature. You build a confidence that, in your opinion, what you feel is stronger than anything else. Like I said before, winners, their belief overrides the disbelief of the crowd every single time. So no matter what happens, they believe in themselves when no one else is out there. That's gonna be the make or break. That's gonna be the details of success. That's gonna be the cause combined to the effect. That's the life you wanna live. That's the life you can live. That's the life you better start living. Very quick, help you stay fit. I'm out. I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, in all honesty, if you want, there is no fundamental secret here. It's called hard work and sweat. If you have that and you're willing to provide that in exchange for a better life, well, everyone will make that deal with you. If you're willing to give up that for pride, accomplishment, feeling of self-worth, if you're willing to make that transaction, Miami Fitness is your bank. And it's open every single day for your transactions. Make your deposits every fucking day. Pay your dues. Become the person you want to be. It's the easiest fucking equation in the world.
When you're doing a set, and you're sitting there and you're pushing, man, you're fucking hitting hard, man. You're like, man, I don't know how many more I can go. You're like trying to, and then you finish it and you're like, no, and then you go for two more and and you get it. You come off the bench or whatever else apparatus you're on. You sit down. You got a pump in your arms, your chest, whatever else. You can't buy that pump. You got to earn that pump through hard work. You went beyond your current limitations and your muscles are sore now. That pumps blood. They're ripping of the actin myosin filaments in there. Bleeding. Creating demand for it to grow back stronger to the point of origin, elongating the sarcomere of the muscle belly. Growth. That natural high you feel as you sit there after hard work, the pain you felt. Now, a few seconds later, pride. You said you were going to do it, you did it, and you exceeded your expectations. Even though your body was shutting down, maybe your partner, whoever it was, pushed you past those 3 or 4 reps, and you did it. Now you sit there, triumph. Even though you have another half an hour, 45 minutes left in your workout, you're still all about it, man. Energized to continue the workout. When the workout's done, energized, motivated. You came in here for a mission, you checked the box, achieved the mission, motivated, come back again, do it another day. What we're doing is we're focusing on the daily task, not the end state. Finding value in what we're doing right now. We don't need a title, we don't need money, we don't need anything else to give value to what we're doing. It's an intangible value. You can't go buy it. You have to earn that motherfucker. And when you feel it once, you don't know how to live without it. That right there is the fucking block that builds empires. The belief in what you're doing pays off. What you're doing provides a purpose, provides a result. And when you figure that out in the fitness world, you get the fucking body. Not a matter of if, just when. How harder you train, the faster it comes. You start to understand that. You're willing to pay those payments of sacrifice and due diligence, sweat equity on a daily basis and get that down payment today because the future investment tomorrow is so bright. No longer are you going to wake up the same person. You're changing the mainframe. You're becoming that person through payments of this shit. The sweat equity. You own that. No one's paid you a fucking thing. That's actually cost you money. The gym membership, time, and everything else. Investment for some other end state. Obviously health. But could there be a financial state? There can be. But it has to work on the same, module of success that you did to transform your body. Once you've transformed your body, you found value in what you're doing every single day to create the end states. You got lost and fixated on the mission at hand every day. And every day you did it and did it and did it and did it. Never even looked for it. And one day you popped up for some air and looked, oh my God, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And fucking A, there you are, standing in the mirror, people taking pictures of you and stuff. Want to put you on covers and campaigns and all stuff. This money's coming in. Wow, you're like, holy shit, what happened? Because you stood for something. You had character. You walked what you talked. And here you stand, fat fucker to now motherfucker of inspiration. That wasn't a quick fix. That was years in the making. And through those years, it wasn't about, now that you got some money, your most valuable asset is the perseverance you learned along the way, which is now also bled over to all spheres of life to make you more successful in your relationship, in your business career, and everything else. But let's say that business career now all of a sudden, because you love this so much, like Jobs did, and Buffett did, they love what they did. Now I want to do that every day. I want to wake up every day and do what I love. How fortunate is that? Oh, you must be so lucky to be able to do such a task that you love every day, because most people hate their job. Bullshit. Those are the servants of the world. You do not have to be that person. You can unleash that layer of society's paralysis and become the motherfucker you knew you could be. No one's going to give it to you. No one's going to give you the encouragement for it. You got to find it from within. The belief of your fucking self. And once you have it, guys, let's jump forward. Once you have that belief, let's say you can figure that belief out. That's so strong that overrides the crowd's disbelief, the adversities, anything. You welcome that shit, because that right there is supposed to fucking happen. Because without that kind of abuse on you, you will not become the battle-tested, proven champion that holds the title, that has the value of the title. You never become what a Ranger tab fucking means. You must go through those ends. Hit rock bottom. Your worst hour of despair becomes your best as you get back up. You learn from that. And then you continue to put one foot in front of the other. But it's not work, it's love. Because what you're going for is what you believe. Once you believe in something, guys, then you can actually begin to have a career in any endeavor. But if it's a fitness endeavor, let's talk about that fitness endeavor. The fitness modeling endeavor. How to find value in that. First of all, you're selling something eventually, right? So, would you buy it? Here's a question. Would you buy what you're about to sell? Well, in order to buy something, right, there has to be value. For me to spend my hard-earned money into something, there must be some form of fucking value. The credibility, the value behind it. I don't want you to plagiarize something. I don't want you to copy or duplicate whatever's already been done. I want you to be a fucking original. How about that? Scary, but how about that? Can that happen? Sally or fucking Sandy, whatever the fuck these people are, they're hiring you. Believe in you. There's responsibility there. It's not a paycheck. They aren't clients. They're family in a way. You gotta see it that way. You gotta find value in them, value in yourself. That value creates a success module. You train them because you've already done it. It's already been battle tested. It's proven. You're not gonna give them bad information, a bad diet, bad sleeping patterns. What you've done has transformed you. That's why they wanted you to train them. You're not there looking at the clock hoping to go home soon. You're there as long as it takes. Because by being there, you're feeling more alive. You're finding motivation through their success. You're available 24/7 to help them create themselves. And as they create themselves, you're filming them. You're taking pictures of them before and after, in between, videoing it, learning how to edit the videos down to make it an inspirational piece. Because once you transform that person, Samuel, you have one means of credibility. Boom, webpage. There it is. Sandy, A to B. Holy shit. Written testimony of who she was before and who she is now. What she's doing in her life before and what she's doing now. Wow. Totally different. In order to do that, you have to have value in who you are. You can't look at the end state of the paycheck. You have to look at the daily task of transforming somebody. I built my foundational fucking value that stands the test of time. I'm not here to make a buck. I'm here to make a fucking difference. That has to be your module. Just like it was for you to transform yourself individually into something of value that you saw in the mirror. Every day you saw value in that. You must have that same philosophy in a business sense, financially, to find that security financially. You must see your clients not as a paycheck, but as an individual. Another person of credibility, another piece of responsibility of you to see it through with them. Because guess what? If you fuck them over and they don't get the results, it's an anti-credibility. And in this world where everything's viral, don't think if you start to build your system and they catch wind of your success and they got a pissed off attitude for you because you shortcutted them, that they don't just fucking start blogging everything on how much you suck. The basis of everything here, guys, is finding value. No one's gonna buy shit. It's about value. Once you have value, then you get credibility. Credibility is more covers, more commercials, more contest wins or placements in the top 5, more clients that have transformed. All this stuff is what people are dying for. The truth. When it comes down to it, and it's not just about, creating the value and money and the financial state from a fitness genre. It's whatever you believe in, whatever you're passionate about. You can make that a career. If it's built the right way, if it's built with a belief, what you're doing provides a service, fills a void in society. You do it right, and if you're building furniture, every single thing is built right. That furniture's strong. One day they'll sell it 300 years from now as an antique. It's still there because there's value in it. Because you built it. You created value. And what you created there isn't a duplicate. Isn't a copy of something else that's already been in society. Like my website came out for the value of giving back the truth of what the magazines and the commercials and all that bullshit isn't giving you. That you can get the success, but it's not a quick fix. It's a long-term thing that you have to work your ass off for. But when you get the success, you got the world with it. Because up here, we just create it. And the body is just a representation of how pure we are up top. You can create all that stuff if you have value. And when you have value, products sell themselves. When I say success, should never speak for itself. Someone that goes around and says, oh yeah, I'm all this and I'm all that and everything else. Well, they just cheapen the accomplishment altogether. If it's anything of value, it will speak for itself. You don't have to talk about it. If you build something, a furniture piece of value, because you believe in the craftsmanship and what this thing is, if you do that right, you value that, then they will grow credibility, just like Nike and Prada and Gucci and all these other fucking companies, Ferrari and shit. You pull up to a valet with a Ferrari, that motherfucker parks that right by the door. You pull into the fucking valet with a bicycle, who knows where the fuck that goes? Because they don't value it. There's a name that doesn't need to be spoken. Ferrari. Whoa. Fucking put it right there so you can keep eyes on it. That's nice. A furniture piece. Value, man. Stands the test of time. Boom. I like that, man. Hey, that's a great piece of furniture. I'm looking for a coffee. Hey, call this person. Their shit is solid. Hey, you looking great there, Joe. How are you getting in great shape? Hey, I went to this trainer, man. He fucking was with me every step of the way. We're friends now. He's part of my family, man. I'm in great shape. My whole life I owe to him. I fucking value. Not money. Create the value. You no longer have to worry about the money. It comes, man. People start talking, word of mouth. Success speaks for itself. Credibility. That's who you are. That's how you walk every day. In the storms of life and the sunshine of life. You believe in something. You're not looking to get the prize today. You believe the journey is worthy cause and it's a winnable fight. So winnable that you're not going to do that job even though you could use that $1,000. At the end, it's going to rob you more than it's ever going to pay you. I can't do that. It doesn't fit my module. Because before I start the endeavor, I built a mission plan of success on what will get me there. And that motherfucker doesn't fit into it. Fuck you and your jeans. You think I wear those jeans anymore, by the way? Fuck no. Because they lost value to me. See how fast that happens? $1 bill and a $100 bill made on the same material substance. The raw materials are worth the fucking same. But one is worth more than the other. Perception of that value. Perception is easily destroyed. That's why when you train a client, you give it all you have. Because that can be an asset or a detriment to your company. You fuck them over, don't give them the love or the true information of what you know because you've already done it for once, you've walked it. So what you are, the subject matter expert, and what you're saying to them, you're not plagiarizing some shit or coming up with something that you've read. You've actually walked it and proven it, battle tested. So what you're telling them, if you don't do that for them, then they go around and start telling people what a fucking joke you are. Nike wants to hire you for that thing, but no, a fucking picture of your dick popping out with a fucking Viagra pill or some shit comes. Oh, lost second. You must see the future. And the future starts today in the way we act. The small nuances when no one's looking. The character that's so lost in society must exist in the individual. And you go after something you believe. And then you never work. You never work a day in your life. You just do what you love. Thanks for watching. Everything you want in life, you can have. You can have all your wants in life. But not 1 second before we stop making excuses for not having what you want. And you get rid of those excuses of life. Get rid of the voices of what everyone else says. Because there's two people inside of you, right? There's a person that everyone else sees on the outside looking in. And then there's the other person. The person you believe your potential can be. What you can see is what you see that you can be. Then dying will the individual to come out. That guy's scary. Too fast is scary. One, it takes hard work.
You have to feel like this to give birth to them. You know, it's just, scary for a lot of people. You have to go through, you have to endure that sweat equity of like dedication and sacrifice, the diligence to see it through, the unknowns of life. It's the path less taken. That's scary. But also, once you get through it, it gets really scary. Because everyone looking at you, who saw that other person, not the person you saw, but the other person, is now freaked the fuck out. Because who the fuck you are now stands there, that dominating force, who took the advantage of the time they had, and now is reaping the reward of the seeds they planted today and yesterday and the days before, bearing the fruit of their potential, what they can be. No regrets, no wonders of what if. Just damn sure proud and excited of what's gonna come, what's gonna be. That's a good fucking day, man. Don't also think all these critics that talk shit to you, call you names and everything else. Don't think that disrespect isn't just a few degrees separation of true love they really feel for you. But they don't have the balls or the courage to say it to your face. So therefore they mask that love in disrespect tones. Calling you psychotic and shit, obsessed and stuff. Which we all know obsessed is just what the weak call it dedicated. Abnormal, but abnormal ensures there's never gonna be normal. You do a little extra effort here. You take whatever's normal and you do a little extra to it. That's what makes it extraordinary. Look at the wording, ordinary plus a little extra. What's that extra? That's what makes the difference, man. The extra rep. Getting up an extra half hour earlier. Saying you're sorry to somebody one extra time. Those little extras combined to a word called extra with ordinary together to make extraordinary. Come on, Josh. And you guys give it your all. Like that. When you leave the gym, it is so hard to accept failure. And you push yourself so far, like that, to the point you're almost emotional. When you leave here, failure's not an option. You work too fucking hard for success. You don't get that fire inside to make it happen out there until you go through the fire in here. Leaving it all here, expecting it all out there. That's how it works. When you leave it all here, guys, you then have the right to expect it all out there. It doesn't work the other way around. You can't half-ass it here and expect anything but a half-ass life out there. Wake up. That drives the pain, the weakness, the fuck out of your body. Brings in the pride and the strength. Headstrong. We just added fuel to that. We're believers now. We just killed ourselves. And it feels fucking good. The pain leaves, what comes in? Pride. Fucking natural high. That you're actually doing something, you're making a difference in your life. That fuels the fire. To be headstrong, believing in what you're doing no matter what the disbeliefs of the third party, subjective losers are out there. That then sends it to your heart. So it beats like a champion. When all this fails, here and here continues to strive past, to reach barriers no one's been to, especially you. Path less taken, the one that leads to character, legacy. That's where that shit's found. It's not found sitting on the couch. This shit brings it out, makes you that C4. This is the tension, the pressure of life, combined with inside what's your head saying, your heart's believing. Boom! Birth of a new you. That's fucking living. It's everything's mindset, man. And if your mindset is so weak that you're like, oh, it's only genetics can do that, it's only genetics. And you listen to society's rhyme the reasons and the rules of the land as if they apply to you. No wonder you're always gonna be a servant here. No wonder. It's not until you say, fuck it. That might be how it's written. It ain't gonna be the way it's gonna go down, though, for me. You gotta rewrite your own history in life, man. Stop listening to what everyone says is the way it is. Fuck's sake. All right. Society's finally waking up. Gonna get something done today. It's about time, man. It's funny how, like, and it's really true, the world rotates around the sun. Sun comes up, sun sets. Agriculture, environment, everything has grown, and there's a birth and a death every day around the sun. You know, and everyone gets up during the morning hours and goes to sleep when the sun goes down, and we revolve around the sun, and that's cool, I get it, and that's just nature. Well, the thing is, if you want to get ahead of nature, if you want to get ahead of society, then maybe you need to sacrifice a little bit and get up when it's dark to ensure that your future is brighter than today.